7 moments you must stay silent to win. They want your reaction. They want your anger. They want your explanation. They want your defense. And most people give it to them immediately. That is why they lose. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack strength, but because they speak when silence would have served them better. The Stoics understood something powerful. Not every battle deserves your words. Not every accusation deserves your response. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is saying nothing at all. In a world where everyone feels pressured to react instantly, silence has become a superpower. The person who masters silence masters influence. The person who masters silence masters emotional control. The person who masters silence masters themselves. Today, we will explore 7 moments when silence becomes your greatest advantage. These lessons come directly from Stoic wisdom and can transform your relationships, your confidence, and your peace of mind. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and mental strength. Because sometimes winning is not about saying more. It is about knowing when not to speak. Moment number 1. When you are angry. Few things destroy lives faster than words spoken in anger. Anger creates an illusion. It convinces you that speaking immediately is necessary. It convinces you that expressing every emotion will make you feel better. It convinces you that attacking back will solve the problem. The Stoics knew better. There was a young manager named Daniel. One afternoon, a coworker publicly criticized him during an important meeting. The criticism felt unfair, embarrassing, humiliating. Daniel felt anger rising inside him. His heart raced. His thoughts accelerated. Part of him wanted to respond immediately, to defend himself, to attack back, to prove the other person wrong. But something stopped him. Instead of speaking, he remained silent. The meeting ended. Several hours passed. His emotions settled, and suddenly he realized something important. Most of what he wanted to say would have made the situation worse. The next day, he addressed the issue calmly, professionally, rationally. The result was far better than anything anger could have achieved. Imagine if he had spoken during the emotional peak. Relationships could have been damaged. Opportunities could have disappeared. Trust could have been lost. All because of a temporary emotion. The Stoics believed emotions should be observed before they are obeyed, especially anger. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that anger often hurts the person carrying it more than the target receiving it. When anger arrives, silence creates space. Space for wisdom. Space for perspective. Space for better decisions. Think about the biggest regrets people carry. How many began with the phrase, "I was angry"? A single emotional moment can create years of consequences. A single moment of silence can prevent years of regret. When emotions are loud, wisdom whispers. Silence helps you hear it. Moment number 2. When someone is trying to provoke you. One of the greatest forms of power is refusing to play a game designed for your defeat. Some people do not want understanding. They want reaction. They do not seek truth. They seek emotional control. There was a young athlete named Michael who gained popularity in his community. As his success increased, criticism increased as well. People mocked him, questioned him, insulted him. Some individuals seemed determined to provoke him. At first, Michael responded to everything. Every comment, every criticism, every insult. His days became exhausting. He spent more time defending himself than improving himself. Then an older coach taught him a lesson. The coach said, "If someone throws mud at you, don't catch it." Those words changed everything. Michael stopped reacting, stopped arguing, stopped defending himself against every attack. And something surprising happened. The critics became frustrated. Why? Because many provocateurs are not seeking dialogue. They are seeking emotional access. Your reaction is their reward. Your frustration is their victory. Your attention is their fuel. The Stoics understood this deeply. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not have to defend yourself against every accusation. You do not have to respond to every critic. Silence often communicates confidence. When you remain calm while others attempt to provoke you, you reveal emotional strength. And emotional strength earns respect. Many people mistake silence for weakness. The Stoics saw it as discipline, because it takes far more strength to remain calm than it does to react impulsively. Not every challenge deserves acceptance. Some deserve silence. Moment number 3. When you do not know enough. Modern society rewards quick opinions. Everyone feels pressure to have an answer immediately, an opinion immediately, a response immediately. The Stoics preferred wisdom over speed. There was a young businessman named Ethan who believed he needed to appear knowledgeable at all times. Whenever discussions occurred, he offered opinions. Whenever questions arose, he answered, even when he lacked information. For a while, people were impressed, but eventually his lack of knowledge became obvious. His credibility suffered. His reputation weakened. One day, during an important meeting, he faced a difficult question. For the first time, he chose honesty. Instead of pretending to know, he said, "I need more information before I answer." The room became silent. Then something unexpected happened. People respected him more. Why? Because honesty builds trust. Pretending destroys it. The Stoics understood that wisdom begins with recognizing the limits of your knowledge. The person who admits uncertainty often appears wiser than the person pretending certainty. Imagine a doctor guessing, a pilot guessing, an engineer guessing. Would you trust them? Of course not. Yet many people guess their way through conversations every day. They fear appearing uninformed, so they pretend. The Stoics encouraged humility. Humility allows learning. Pride prevents it. If you truly want people to take you seriously, learn to say, "I don't know." Then seek understanding. Silence in the presence of ignorance is often wiser than confidence built on assumptions. The smartest person in the room is often the one still learning. Moment number 4. When you are about to reveal all your plans. One of the most common mistakes people make is talking too much about what they intend to do. They announce every goal, every dream, every ambition, every project, before taking meaningful action. The Stoics believed actions should speak louder than intentions. There was a young man named Ryan who dreamed of transforming his life. Every week, he talked about his plans. He talked about starting a business, talked about getting into shape, talked about learning new skills, talked about becoming successful. His friends heard the same goals repeatedly. Months passed, then years. Very little changed. At the same time, another young man named Victor quietly pursued his goals. He rarely discussed his plans. He spent his energy working instead of announcing, learning instead of boasting, building instead of talking. A few years later, the difference was impossible to ignore. Victor had achieved many of the goals Ryan was still discussing. What happened? Victor understood something Ryan did not. Talking about success can sometimes create the illusion of progress. It feels productive. It feels satisfying. It feels rewarding. But feelings are not results. The Stoics valued execution over explanation. They understood that unfinished plans are vulnerable. The more people you tell, the more opinions you invite, the more distractions you create, the more pressure you feel. Sometimes silence protects your focus. Sometimes silence protects your momentum. Sometimes silence protects your dream. This does not mean never seeking advice. Wise counsel can be valuable, but there is a difference between seeking guidance and constantly announcing intentions. Many people spend so much time talking about what they will do that they never actually do it. The Stoics preferred a different approach. Work quietly, improve quietly, build quietly, and let results make the announcement. There is something powerful about surprising people with your success instead of informing them about it every step of the way. Imagine planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to show everyone how it is growing. You protect it, water it, nurture it. Then one day it becomes impossible to ignore. Goals work the same way. Silence often gives them room to grow. Talk less about your plans. Do more about your plans. Moment number 5. When someone is gossiping. Few habits destroy character faster than gossip, and few habits reveal character faster than refusing to participate in it. There was a woman named Sarah who worked in a busy office. Every day, small groups gathered to discuss other people, who made mistakes, who had relationship problems, who was struggling, who was succeeding. No one was safe from criticism. At first, Sarah occasionally joined in, not because she was cruel, because it seemed normal. Everyone else was doing it. Then something happened. One day she discovered that people were gossiping about her. The same people she had laughed with were discussing her behind her back. The experience hurt, but it also taught her something important. People who constantly gossip about others will eventually gossip about you. From that day forward, Sarah changed. Whenever conversations drifted toward gossip, she remained silent or redirected the discussion. At first, people noticed. Some even found it strange. But over time, something remarkable happened. Her reputation improved. People trusted her more. People respected her more. Why? Because they knew she would not betray their confidence. The Stoics understood that words reveal character. Every conversation is an opportunity to build trust or destroy it. Think about the people you respect most. Are they constantly discussing other people's flaws? Are they obsessed with rumors? Are they eager to spread negativity? Probably not. The most respected individuals often avoid unnecessary gossip. They understand that discussing ideas is productive. Discussing people is often destructive. Marcus Aurelius regularly reminded himself to focus on his own improvement rather than the faults of others. That lesson remains powerful today. Every minute spent analyzing another person's life is a minute not spent improving your own. Silence during gossip demonstrates maturity. It demonstrates self-control. It demonstrates wisdom. Most importantly, it demonstrates integrity. There will always be opportunities to join negative conversations. The question is whether those conversations deserve your participation. Often, the wisest response is silence. Small minds discuss people. Growing minds discuss possibilities. Moment number 6. When you have been insulted or disrespected. One of the greatest tests of emotional strength is how you respond to disrespect. Most people react instantly. They defend themselves, attack back, raise their voices, seek revenge. The Stoics believe this reaction often gives power to the very person trying to provoke you. There was a respected merchant named Alexander whose success attracted criticism. One afternoon, a stranger publicly insulted him in a crowded marketplace. Everyone waited for Alexander's response. The insult was harsh, personal, unfair. Many expected an argument. Instead, Alexander smiled and continued walking. A young apprentice who witnessed the event later asked, "Why didn't you respond?" Alexander replied, "If a person offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who keeps the gift?" "The person offering it," answered the apprentice. "Exactly," said Alexander. "The same applies to insults." The lesson stayed with the apprentice forever. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every disrespectful comment deserves your energy. Not every rude person deserves access to your peace. The Stoics understood that your reaction determines whether an insult succeeds. An insult cannot damage your character. It cannot reduce your worth. It cannot change who you are. What can damage you is your response. When people see that you remain calm under attack, they recognize strength. When people see that you refuse to be controlled by emotions, they recognize maturity. When people see that you maintain dignity under pressure, they recognize wisdom. This does not mean allowing abuse. It does not mean tolerating mistreatment forever. There are moments when firm action is necessary. But firm action and emotional reaction are not the same thing. The Stoics encouraged thoughtful responses, not impulsive reactions. There is tremendous power in refusing to let another person's behavior dictate your own. Because the moment you lose control, they gain control. The strongest response is not always a comeback. Sometimes it is composure. Moment number 7. When success is speaking for you. Many people feel a constant need to explain themselves, to justify themselves, to defend themselves, to convince others of their value. The Stoics saw this as unnecessary, because true success rarely needs an explanation. There was a young entrepreneur named David who spent years trying to prove himself. Whenever someone doubted him, he argued. Whenever someone questioned him, he defended himself. Whenever someone criticized him, he explained himself. The process was exhausting. One evening, an older mentor gave him advice. Spend less time explaining and more time building. David took those words seriously. Instead of arguing, he worked. Instead of defending, he improved. Instead of convincing, he produced results. Years later, many of the people who once doubted him changed their opinions. Not because he persuaded them, because his actions persuaded them. This is one of the deepest Stoic lessons. Results speak a language that arguments cannot. Character speaks a language that explanations cannot. Consistency speaks a language that promises cannot. When your life reflects discipline, integrity, and purpose, people notice. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to defend it. You do not need to constantly explain it. Your actions become your message. Many people waste years trying to win arguments. Wise people spend those years building lives that make arguments irrelevant. The loudest proof is not your voice. It is your results. As we come to the end of this journey, there is one lesson that stands above all the others. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is not surrender. Silence is power when it is used wisely. Most people spend their lives believing they must constantly respond, constantly explain, constantly defend, constantly prove themselves. The Stoics understood something different. Not every situation deserves your words. Not every challenge deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your energy. And not every person deserves access to your peace. Think about the 7 moments we explored today. When you are angry, when someone is trying to provoke you, when you do not know enough, when you are tempted to reveal all your plans, when people are gossiping, when you have been insulted, and when your success is already speaking for you. In each of these moments, silence becomes more than the absence of words. It becomes a display of wisdom, a display of discipline, a display of self-control. Because every time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you strengthen your character. Every time you choose patience over emotion, you strengthen your mind. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you strengthen your future. There was once an old Stoic teacher who asked his students a simple question. What is stronger, a storm or a mountain? The students answered immediately. The storm. After all, storms are powerful. They are loud. They are dramatic. They shake the earth. But the teacher smiled and shook his head. The mountain remains. The lesson was simple. Anyone can be loud. Anyone can react. Anyone can explode with emotion. But remaining steady requires strength. Remaining calm requires discipline. Remaining silent when silence is the wiser choice requires mastery. The world rewards noise. Social media rewards noise. Arguments reward noise. Attention rewards noise. But wisdom often grows in silence. Many of the greatest decisions you will ever make will happen in silence. Many of your greatest victories will happen in silence. Many of your greatest transformations will happen in silence. Nobody will see the moment you choose discipline over impulse. Nobody will see the moment you choose patience over anger. Nobody will see the moment you refuse to engage in gossip. Nobody will see the moment you walk away from an unnecessary argument. But those moments matter, because those moments shape who you become. The Stoics believe that true strength is not measured by how much noise you can create. It is measured by how much control you have over yourself. And self-control is becoming increasingly rare. Most people are controlled by their emotions, controlled by their impulses, controlled by the opinions of strangers, controlled by temporary frustrations. The Stoic seeks freedom from those chains. Freedom through wisdom. Freedom through discipline. Freedom through understanding. And silence is one of the tools that makes that freedom possible. Imagine how different your life could become if you mastered this skill. Imagine refusing to react when provoked. Imagine remaining calm when criticized. Imagine protecting your goals instead of constantly announcing them. Imagine walking away from gossip. Imagine no longer feeling the need to prove yourself to everyone. Imagine how much energy you would save, how much peace you would gain, how much confidence you would develop. Because confidence does not come from winning every argument. Confidence comes from knowing which arguments are not worth having. Confidence comes from knowing your value without needing constant validation. Confidence comes from understanding that your character matters more than another person's opinion. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life surrounded by pressure, criticism, conflict, and responsibility. Yet he repeatedly returned to the same principle. Control what you can control. Let go of what you cannot. That principle remains just as powerful today. You cannot control other people's opinions. You cannot control other people's behavior. You cannot control every challenge that enters your life. But you can control your response. You can control your attitude. You can control your words. And sometimes the greatest control is choosing not to speak at all. The next time anger rises, remember this lesson. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this lesson. The next time gossip surrounds you, remember this lesson. The next time you feel desperate to explain yourself, remember this lesson. Ask yourself one question. Will speaking improve this situation? If the answer is no, silence may be your greatest ally. Because silence is not empty. Silence contains patience. Silence contains discipline. Silence contains wisdom. Silence contains strength. And when combined with Stoic principles, silence becomes one of the most powerful tools for success, peace, and self-mastery. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, emotional intelligence, self-discipline, mental toughness, personal growth, and timeless wisdom. And remember this: weak people react to everything. Wise people choose carefully. Not every battle deserves your words. Not every storm deserves your attention. Sometimes the greatest victory is remaining silent while the world expects you to speak. And in that silence, you discover your true strength.